warm berry tea in my Jack Skellington mug, and a whole pile of birthday presents. So despite the fact that I got my booster jab this morning and I'm feeling a little woo, I'm very, very grateful and life is good. Okay, I have been burned by having huge piles of books on the armrest, but I just wanted to show you the scale of the kindness of all of my friends, and now when we do the actual haul they can go on the floor where they will be safe. So yeah, I think it just makes sense to go in the order that I got them in. I think that's the pile that they're in currently, that's the order, so we're just going to start and I'm just going to gush about all the amazing books that I have and how kind all of my friends are, so prepare for some mush. So the first book that I opened on my birthday was Promising Young Woman by Caroline O'Donoghue, and this was sent to me by the wonderful Aoife over at Pretty Purple Polka Dots. And this has been on my radar for such a long time, because I initially thought that the film Promising Young Woman, which is one of my favourite films that came out this year, I gave it a 5-star review, I made a whole video on it, like begging people to watch it because I loved it so much. I thought that that film was an adaptation of this book. I was incorrect. And I think Leanne over at Leanne Rose has been championing Caroline O'Donoghue's work for a really long time, and that she's talked about Scenes of a Graphic Nature and Promising Young Woman and the witchy one, All Our Hidden Gifts, I believe. So I'm very excited to get to this one because I've heard so many good things about Caroline O'Donoghue and her writings. And Aoife actually said in her gift note that she was excited to see which one I prefer, which one ends up being my favourite. So I'm very excited to get to this one. I believe it's about sexual harassment in the workplace, so not like the cheeriest of topics, but I think it's addressed in a really unique and interesting way, and like just looking at the reviews on the front of it, I just think like it's going to be such an important but also enjoyable read, and I really can't wait to get to this soon, so thank you so much Aoife for sending it to me. And the next parcel I opened was from Sylvie. Oh, I'm already getting emotional. I'm really like the second parcel. And I'm also losing my words because I think, like, because I got my booster this morning, just my brain goes a little bit fuzzy on like day one of getting a vaccine or a jab or something, and my brain's like, you should just sleep. But I'm like, no, I want to film a video because I need to say thank you for all of these gifts. So in this note from Sylvie, she said, this sounded like a perfect Anna book with the dark and twisty fairy tale vibes, and I hope you love it. And I'm so glad that she wrote that in the note because I low-key forgot what this was about. I'd added it to my wish list, I think, on a whim, partly because I think I like the cover, but I knew it was YA and it was sort of dark and eerie and I'd gotten really good reviews. So I'm very grateful for Sylvie for sending it to me because this is exactly the perfect time of year to be reading a dark and twisty fairy tale book. I mean, the leaves are turning, the cold is coming in. I'm very, very ready to get to this really, really soon. So the blurb says, dark, dangerous things happen around the Hollow sisters. Ever since they disappeared as children, only to reappear a month later with no memory of what had happened to them. Odd, eerie occurrences follow in their wake. When Grey, the eldest, goes missing again, Iris and Vivi are left to figure out the mystery, but they aren't the only ones looking out for her. As they brush against the supernatural, Iris realizes that the world that returned them 10 years ago might be calling them back, but just how much horror lies beneath the surface. So that blurb is kind of giving me the vibe of like Picnic at Hanging Rock, you know, 4 girls disappear like after a picnic into the mountains, and like one of them comes back, I believe, and has like no memory of what actually happened. So this sounds very sort of similar vein, like very mysterious, also about girlhood, sisterhood. Very excited to get to this one, so thank you so much Sylvie. And the other one that Sylvie got was The Bear and the Nightingale, which I'm so excited for because again, like, it's just the perfect seasonal read. This is like a beautiful winter fantasy, and I know it's one of Sylvie's favourite series, and also Shannon from 155 Books has raved about them too. So I'm very excited to get into this series, and I definitely am making it a high priority for this winter. So the back just says, beware the evil in the woods. I mean, that's literally all I want to know, like something creepy in the woods. I mean, that is just the most iconic, like, start to any book. Fairy tale, like that is the way to hook me in. So Sylvie has really outdone herself with picking like the most perfect books for this time of year, and also just for who I am as a person, so thank you so much Sylvie. And speaking of Shannon over at 155 Books, she also got me 2 amazing books which I'm so excited for, and I just feel so lucky, like, oh my god. So Shannon got me Ray Bear, which I've heard so many amazing things about, and also Summer Water by Sarah Moss. Very, like, different vibes. Like, this is YA fantasy, and this is an adult book about a woman going missing, I think? But both appeal to, like, my last 2 remaining brain cells, you know? I love my YA, and I love my sort of, like, eerie fiction. So as this is from Hotkey Books, they give you a little key at the back that tells you like what's in the book, and it says Empire, Wish, Curse and Betrayal. So not a lot to go on there, but very exciting. And I remember Sylvie read this in like a day or something back last year when we were on reading sprints. So I think it's going to be a very like compelling, very exciting, very fast paced like fantasy book, and I am just so ready for that. And the cover is just giving me like the perfect autumn vibes. Like look at these red leaves and the green and the orange. It's just sort of matching with my jumper today. Like it's just all such a vibe, and I'm very, very excited to get to this. So this is a book that I have seen everywhere, and I think Sarah Moss is again an author that I've heard talked about a lot on booktube, on also Leanne's channel and Shannon's channel. So the back says, it is the summer solstice, but in a faded Scottish cabin park the rain is unrelenting. 12 people on holiday with their families look on as skies remain resolutely grey. A woman goes running up the ben as if fleeing. A teenage boy chances the dark waters of the loch in his kayak. A retired couple head out despite the downpour, driving too fast on the familiar bends. But there are newcomers too, and one particular family, a mother and daughter with all the wrong clothes and the wrong manners, start to draw attention from the others. Who are they? Where are they from? Should they be here at all? As darkness finally falls, something is unraveling. Okay, so I think I was thinking of Sarah Moss's book that she wrote during like COVID, and it was about a woman going missing during the COVID lockdown. This is not that. This is a different book altogether, and it sounds incredible. It's sort of giving me a similar vibe to Death in Her Hands a little bit, which is very different plot-wise, but it's sort of similar vein of like an isolated woman who sort of is a little bit strange, starts to go a little bit mad, and there's just lots of sort of unreliability in the narration and lots of stuff left up to your interpretation, and this gives me a sort of similar vibe to that, so I'm very excited to get into this. Again, something that seems really perfect for this time of year, because it's talking about this faded Scottish cabin park where like the rain is pouring down, so I think when the weather really starts to turn, this is going to be a perfect book for that. So thank you so much, Shannon, for sending me this. I'm so excited to read it. I then opened a parcel from the lovely Rosy, although I didn't know it was from Rosy because Amazon helpfully didn't put a gift note in, so I had to do some digging, but found out eventually that it was from Rosy over at Sparkles Books, and I'm so excited to read this one. So this is Hood Feminism, Notes from the Women White Feminists Forgot. So I need to do a lot better at reading just non-fiction in general, and so when I heard this getting rave reviews a while back, I put it straight on my wish list, and I'm so excited to get to this because I think so much of the conversation around feminism, and also the feminism that I was taught in school, because you know I went to a girls' school, so they tried to sort of prioritise that in our discussions of like literature and you know just general happenings in the world. I think a lot of that was done obviously through a white feminist lens, and that's the kind of feminism that we see, you know, when we talk about like the gender pay gap. All of that stuff is sort of rooted in whiteness and class privilege, whereas actually the problems that women of colour face are much more pressing. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one really soon, and I've just heard such amazing things, so thank you so much, Rosy, for sending me this one. I then opened a parcel from the lovely Charr over at Thoroughly Enjoyed Books, and I'm so excited to read both of these. So the first one is The Appeal by Janice Hallett, which Charr said in her note that she hadn't heard of before but hoped that I enjoy it. And literally same, I haven't heard that much about this one, but the little that I have seen is like 5-star reviews on booktube, and from the little that I do remember, I think it is a sort of crime. Well yeah, the back just says a modern Agatha Christie, so I know why I put it on my list. And it says 1 murder, 15 subjects, oh my god, my brain. 1 murder, 15 suspects, can you uncover the truth? And I think it's a sort of like, not interactive, but I think it's written in a way that's meant to like encourage you to guess, so I think they give you the evidence and it's told through like emails and text messages, and you're meant to sort of like piece it together as you read it, and people have said that it's, you know, really good, really engaging, and they've like finished it in a day or two, so I'm very excited to get to this one. It just sounds like a really fun and like fast-paced reading experience, and again quite a good like creepy one for when the weather starts to like get a bit grimy, so I'm really excited to read this, so thank you so much, Charr. And Charr also sent me the amazing Ace of Spades, and I'm saying the amazing as if I've already read it, but I haven't. I've just seen like 5-star reviews across the board. Everyone loves this one. I've been wanting it for so long, but I've like resisted because I know I shouldn't really be buying books, so I put it on my wish list, and I'm very, very excited that Charr has sent it to me because it is everything that I love. It's dark academia set at a private school, and there's a quote on the back from BuzzFeed that says strong Gossip Girl vibes and a whole lot of mystery, and if you comp something to Gossip Girl, you better believe I'm going to be on that like a rash, you know? So I'm so excited to read this one, and thank you so much, Charr. So those were all the books that were sent on my wish list, and I'm so grateful to everyone who sent me a book. It's just brightened my day so much, and I've been feeling a little bit disconnected from like booktube and the internet recently. I've not been uploading as much. It was just really lovely to like know that my friends were thinking of me and sending me like books. It was just really lovely. So yeah, really made my day. So then this is a little stack that I got the day of, and then there are more books from a separate day. It just, the celebrations, they just kept going. So on the day of my birthday, I met up with my wonderful friend B, my partner Kieran, and then Rowan came all the way from Manchester to come to London to hang out with me, and we all went to see Last Night in Soho at the Electric Cinema in Notting Hill, which is just the most gorgeous cinema I've ever been in my entire life. It's just so beautiful. I've been there once before and it just like is so stunning. And then we went for dinner afterwards, and then we had some more present opening at dinner. And my friend Rowan got me Poison for Breakfast by Lemony Snicket, which is signed. I know they dropped it, but it's signed. That's so exciting. Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events was a huge part of my childhood. Not just the books, I was obsessed with the film as well. Still maintain to this day that it is an underrated piece of cinema. It is absolutely stunning and gorgeous. The cinematographer now has like a bajillion Oscars. The music's by Thomas Newman. The costume designer is Colleen Atwood, who does all of Tim Burton's live action films. So it just, every single individual piece of that film is just stunning and gorgeous and comes together to make this like perfect film. And Rowan knows this. Rowan knows how obsessed I am with a Series of Unfortunate Events. The whole world, the whole thing basically. And this is Lemony Snicket's new book, which I'm gonna confess I didn't really know was coming out, and I don't know what it's about. So the back says, "This true story, as true as Lemony Snicket himself, begins with a rather puzzling note pushed under his door. Mr. Snicket has investigated many things over the course of his long and suspicious career, but never his own death. Certainly he didn't relish the task of unravelling the riddle of his demise, but he had no choice. It was put right in front of him on his plate. If you are confused, you have every right to be. This book is about bewilderment and life's big questions. From the world-renowned author of A Series of Unfortunate Events, a cautionary tale for curious children and adults alike." So as we all know, Lemony Snicket is a fictional author created by Daniel Handler. That's his real name. So I think this is a book about Lemony Snicket, the writer, and you know, him investigating his own death, it appears, and I'm very excited for this. I had no idea it was out, I had no idea what it was, but I'm just so primed for more like Lemony Snicket vibes. So thank you so much, Rowan, for giving me this book. So the next one, I need to do a bit of a precursor, a little bit of a preamble as we do. What? My brain, it's going. Alright, okay. So if you've been here a while, like my channel's what? 7 years old? Started making videos in 2014. So if you've been here that long, which I doubt, but anyway, I used to make content about Harry Potter because it was one of the great loves of my life. It really like shaped me, who I am as a person, as a child. But obviously, due to obvious reasons, primarily J.K. Rowling being a TERF, I have not really engaged in Harry Potter much in the last years in terms of like buying the new editions, blah blah blah. And then Minalima, the wonderful company that did all the graphics for the films, released these new editions of like the books with, you know, Minalima do gorgeous books with the pull out cards and like pop up bits, and obviously they're gorgeous, but you know, I sort of told myself like that part of my life is over now. I'm not really going to be financially engaging with Harry Potter anymore. But my wonderful friend B knows how much I love it, and managed to track down on Depop, so secondhand, a really gorgeous, beautiful used copy of the Minalima version of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And I did and ah about showing this because obviously I don't want to be promoting Harry Potter, but you know, everyone knows what it is, and I wanted to thank B in this video. Hello B. And I thought it'd be really strange if it was the one gift that I left out and B was like, oh, so I really appreciate her tracking this down secondhand so I can sort of, you know, enjoy it like guilt-free in a way. But it is just a gorgeous object, and if you do want to get one, I really do recommend that you get one secondhand if you can, because we're not about giving money to a TERF. So thank you so much B, and this is just yeah, Minalima, they're always wonderful, and they've got really beautiful like fairy tale books. So if you're wanting to support them but just not buy something that's Harry Potter related, they've got really gorgeous like fairy tale editions with Beauty and the Beast and the Wizard of Oz, and just really stunning work, you know, graphically and with the pop-ups and just the way it all fits together. Everything they do is just stunning. And so, as I mentioned, we were seeing Last Night in Soho in Notting Hill, and the other thing that Notting Hill is famous for, other than that cinema, I guess, is Portobello Market, which is a wonderful market that runs all the way through Notting Hill, and it's got beautiful antiques and jewellery and books. And so obviously we had a little mosey round once we came out of the cinema, and I did treat myself to 2 books. So I guess it sort of counts in my birthday haul, doesn't it? Because I bought them for myself on my birthday, and that was my reasoning. I was like, it's my birthday. And they are these 2 gorgeous hardback illustrated editions of Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, and these are 2 books that, you know, were meant a lot to me in childhood as well. Roald Dahl was, again, along with sort of Harry Potter and Jackie Wilson, the books that I loved in my childhood. So to see these on a book stand like together was just really wonderful, and I don't know, I just couldn't resist. It was just silly because I've obviously read both of them, but these are in great condition and they're hardback and they're just really pretty, and they've got all the illustrations by Quentin Blake, and yeah, I wanted them. So this next one is not technically a birthday gift, but on the 31st, so Halloween, the day after my birthday, me and Dad had booked to go to an evening with Brian Cox, the wonderful actor, not the scientist. And he is obviously the main sort of star of Succession, but he's done so many other things. Like, he's done a lot of theatre over the years, he's been in a lot of films, lots of ones that I was surprised at actually, because they showed clips during the evening of films that he'd been in, and I was like, oh, wow, alright. So very exciting. I really like him as an actor. He's Scottish, so like just already we're in sync. And he's just so funny, like very scandalous, you know. He's obviously got a lot of like colourful stories from, you know, years of being in the film and theatre industry, so it was really wonderful to sort of hear him talk, but obviously as a part of like the evening with, it was to launch his memoir, his book, and as part of the ticket you got a signed copy of his book, which I'm very excited about. So it's called Putting the Rabbit in the Hat, obviously by Brian Cox, and I started reading it on the train back, and I'm very excited to dive in because he knows so much about like the craft of acting. I'm not an actor, but you know, I'm wanting to go into the film industry as a director one day, so knowing a lot about actors and how they think will be helpful, especially an actor as good as Brian Cox. So I'm very interested to learn more about him, and I'm going to look and see if there's an audio version, because I just think he has such a wonderful way of storytelling. Obviously he's an actor, so yeah, very excited to read this soon. And so we're down to the last batch of presents, which was given to me on November 1st, I believe, so 2 days after my birthday, when I went out for a sort of birthday catch-up dinner with Carys and Leanne. So Carys from Carys's Corner and Leanne from Leanne Rose, and as part of this dinner they gave me my presents, and it was all very lovely and beautiful. We had a very bougie dinner with like lots of different pasta dishes, and we just were full of pasta, then chocolate cake, and I got given books. I mean, is there a better day? No, there isn't. So Leanne was very cheeky, went a bit above and beyond and got me 3 books, which she absolutely did not have to do, but I'm very grateful. So first up was this stunning anniversary edition of Lady Midnight. Now, you all know that I am a very big Cassandra Clare stan, very big, but Lady Midnight and this series, so it's like a trilogy of 3 books obviously, which is The Dark Artifices. Look at me not remembering my favourite trilogy by Cassandra Clare. But yes, this mini trilogy of the rest of the series is my favourite, so it's really wonderful that I've got this gorgeous anniversary edition, and it features a bonus story and a letter from Cassandra Clare, so I'm very excited to own this and reread it and just drink in the gorgeous beauty of it. And then I got my second Sarah Moss book of the haul, I guess, which is this gorgeous copy of Ghost Wall, and it's this wonderful little hardback that Leanne got second hand, but it is stunning. Like, I've seen this paperback before, and this is just so much nicer. Like, I love this sort of, I don't know what it is, they're like twigs or something, but it just looks gorgeous, and it's like textured as well, like the font is embossed, and it's just beautiful. And then when you take off the dust jacket, oh, stunning. I love it. So having never read Sarah Moss before, I'm really, really excited to now have 2 books by her, so I can really make a dent in her like back catalogue and see what I think, because I know that she's an author that is really, really beloved, so I really want to get to these soon. And the last one from Leanne was Legend Born, so another awesome YA fantasy that I've heard so much about that I am just like gagging to get to. It's just been too long, and again I think I've seen people like finish this really, really quickly. Again, another like pacey, like exciting YA fantasy that I think is based on Arthur, like the legends of Arthur and Camelot and all that, but I could be wrong. But they just announced a sequel to this and released the cover, so I'm really excited to get on this bandwagon and like be part of like the excitement for book 2. So thank you so much, Leanne, for all the wonderful books that you gave me. It was so lovely. I mean, I've already said thank you in person, so thank you again. I'm so awkward doing this, but thank you. And then at the same birthday dinner, Carys gave me her wonderful birthday present to me, which was Sensibility by Jane Austen. Now, I'm not a classics gal, and I'm very outspoken about the fact that I'm not a classics gal, but the eagle-eyed among you will notice that this edition of Sensibility is part of the gorgeous laser cut, like paper cut edition that I have of Emma. So these are going to look absolutely stunning on my shelf, and I am so excited. And honestly, I'm 24 now. It is high time that I read some Jane Austen, so these gorgeous editions are going to be the perfect motivation to finally make a dent in Jane Austen's back catalogue. So now I've got Emma and Sense and Sensibility, and I'm so excited. And I believe that this one is Leanne's favourite of Austen's, I think. So very, very exciting. And again, Carys, I've already thanked you in person, so I'm gonna sound like a bit of a knob if I like do it again, but you know how excited I am about this, and I'm just so excited to read it and message you about it, and just I'm feeling very grateful. So those are all the wonderful birthday gifts that I got from my wonderful friends, and I'm just so chuffed. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say like thank you and it still be genuine, but honestly, like I could sit here for hours and just keep saying thank you, because I was just so in awe of all the love that I received. And like I said, it meant so much because recently I have been feeling quite disconnected from booktube and like wondering whether it's like still worth doing, and I really lost my motivation for it a little bit, and I've been so busy, so it was really nice and like a really lovely surprise to just get so much love. So yeah, thank you to absolutely everyone. I know I've already thanked you, but you're getting one again. Yeah, feeling very, very lucky. Could not have asked for a better start to my 24th year on planet Earth. So yeah, as with any haul, please do let me know if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned and what you thought of them. I would love to discuss in the comments, and I will see you very soon with another video soon. Bye.